Hello and a heartily welcome to today's topic. Well, it's our last week for the topic heart, and I want to introduce you to a very, very special concept of the heart rate variability. Blah, blah, blah. That's a tongue twister. It's the heart rate variability, and it's a very, very interesting thing. My name is Dominika Hanschk, and I'm glad that you are here with me. Okay. Our heart, our heart beats every single moment, and one would think if we are not doing much, for example, when we rest, our heartbeat is like beating at a very regular interval, okay? And we would expect, okay, when we see that on the monitor, that the interval is very, very strict, like, for example, 60 to 80 heartbeats per minute, which is kind of true, but not quite right, okay? Because when our heart beats, it depends on what we are doing, that it sometimes kind of like speeds up a little bit or slows down a little bit, and there's some kind of like variability in there that actually can be chaotic. Because we are very hectic, we are very nervous, we are angry or anxious, or it can be very calm, very restful, harmonious, and it's very, very interesting because the way our heartbeat reacts does actually tell us something about our state of mind, okay? And in this week, we are talking about the heart in relationship to our thinking and our feeling. And one wouldn't think, one knows maybe from stories, kind of like you feel with your heart, and yes, it influences how we behave, how we feel, how we react, and that's very much true. And we can actually measure that, and that's the really, really interesting thing. We can actually measure that, and the measurement is the heart rate variability. This is a really hard word. So what happens? So, for example, you're just resting here and your heart is beating, but it's still not the exact same beat every time. Sometimes it's a bit slower, sometimes it's a bit faster. It depends on whether you're talking, whether you're just listening, whether you're reacting in stretching your arm or moving around, or obviously when you're running or you're exercising or you're eating something, something will change. But it's even when you're sitting still and you're just relaxing or you're meditating, then you have this variability in the heart rate, and it tells you something about your state of mind. So it basically tells you whether you are in the parasympathetic nervous system, which would be calm, harmonious, so you're with yourself, you're resting in yourself, or whether it would be in the sympathetic nervous system, and then it's rather restless, chaotic, nervous, anxious, and it does have a huge impact on our body. First of all, it does have a huge impact on how our brain works, because if our heart is beating very chaotic, very randomly, very chaotic, and you see that in a curve that is kind of like very aggressive, then your thinking patterns change. The way our brain thinks changes, and we can't work out as good a solution as we might be able to do when we are in a calm state of mind. And in the same way, when we are relaxed, when we are calming down, when we are just in our kind of like peace of mind, then we can actually see the curve is more like a curve. It's like a sinus pattern. The sinus pattern would be the ideal heart rate variability, but that's very difficult, obviously. But we can actually use our heart. We can use our heartbeat to actually influence our mind, and that's a really, really cool thing. Our heart also influences other organs in the way it's beating. So it actually also influences, you probably know these kind of like sayings, I'm really angry, I'm feeling tight in my tummy, and all these kind of like expressions have the meaning of what the heart rate, in the way the heart rate influences the body. Okay? And what I'd like to invite you today to do is join me into a small exercise to actually use your heart to calm down and to rest again and to be in a more calm, conscious state of mind to react to your outside world. Okay, so you can use that when you are actually feeling, not so well, and or you're feeling restless, or your boss just gave you 20 new tasks, which you obviously have to do until Friday, and then you're kind of like agitated, you're anxious, you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? And you can actually use this kind of like heart exercise to calm down again, to rest in yourself, and then you're able to handle those tasks with ease. And the way you start is obviously you find yourself a place where you can be for yourself, in a quiet place for yourself for a couple of minutes. Okay? Maybe you just want to try this exercise with me. I invite you to do that. You find yourself a quiet space, and then you just take a couple of breaths. Deep breaths, because breath work, taking deep breaths already has an effect on our heart. We calm down, we can relax, our parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, and we can actually reduce our heart rate. And because we are working with the heart, I invite you to put your hand on your heart, or maybe even two, and just take a couple of relaxing breaths. If you like, you can close your eyes for this exercise. I keep it open here for the video. Just look inside. How does your body feel? How does your heart feel? And what's going on in your mind? Next, try to find a situation or person that's special to you. Yes, think about a situation where you experienced a lot of love or care. How was it when you were freshly in love? Maybe you want to think about that person. Or maybe it's even a pet or a special situation. Think about that situation. Get yourself into that situation. How did that situation feel? What kind of feelings did you generate there? Was it love? Was it compassion? Was it care? Try to focus on that feeling. How did it feel? Try to generate that feeling now in your heart. And maybe you can see and feel how your body reacts. Your breathing slows down. Your heartbeat slows down. Maybe your shoulders drop. Maybe you take a deep breath to let your muscles go, that they are no longer so tense. And if you like, you can go one step further and you send those feelings of love, compassion and care, thankfulness out to that person, to your pet, or to that situation, or any kind of situation that you feel deserves love, thankfulness, gratitude, compassion in the world. Then come back into the here and now. And how did that feel for you? How was that exercise for you? Could you actually, come up with a good situation that made you feel this kind of compassion, love, gratitude, thankfulness? And can you actually generate those feelings like you want with your fingertips. That's something you can practice. And the thing is, it really, really works. You can actually measure that your heart rate variability goes closer to this sinus curve, and that everything is kind of like, yeah, calming down. You're going into your parasympathetic nervous system, you're relaxing, you're taking it easy, your immune system boosts up, you're more clear in your thinking, and that's a really, really cool thing to do, right? So I invite you to try this kind of like exercise in your everyday life. So for example, if you're driving in your car and somebody just takes you and cuts you and on the road, and you're kind of like feeling that you're getting angry, try to come back to your heart. Try to feel what your heart is feeling and what kind of feelings do you want to generate, and get back to this, into this feeling. Feel how it feels, and that's a really, really cool thing. Well, that's it for today. I hope I could share something really interesting with you, and I hope to see you next time again. Bye!